All right, let's see what we got here. I guess we on. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, what I do as a spiritual healer, and by the way, this is going to be part two to social media. Now, what I do as a spiritual healer, essentially, I help you to become Christ like, Buddha like, Krishna like. And what that pretty much means, in essence, it's pretty much you becoming, I help you to become fully developed as a person, as a human being, meaning now at this point you have the ability, I help you to master your, I guess it could be said so many different ways, but your intuition or your emotions and your intellect. I can also say, for you to fully master yourself, the physical and the non physical aspect of yourself. So, and why is that important for you, let's just say, to become Christ like or to attain your highest level of consciousness? That's just another way of saying that, too. What that means pretty much, for you to attain your highest level of consciousness, you would need to have the highest level of clarity and understanding about who you are and your environment. And whenever you're not mentally and emotionally balanced, you're not going to have that highest state of clarity. We see it all the time. Let's just say someone who's being emotionally unbalanced, right? That's why they say sometimes you don't want to make a major decision when you're mad, because that feeling in itself, it's not allowing you to see the full picture. So, in essence, and I will be talking about spirituality shortly, this is another way of also showing you who you are, the way we operate. So then again, and then we also know your intellect too. Stupid people don't do smart shit. So therefore, you can only go as far as you can go. Most likely smart people would do smart shit. And this is why it is encouraged for you to develop your intellect. So that would also have to do with your intellect. But now for your intellect to actually go further, to expand your intellect, you also need to have to be emotionally balanced. Because when you are, let's just say, too mental, what you happen to, or what you most likely would do is that, you become very rigid. How people you love logic, but logic doesn't give you the full vision of what's in front of you. This is why, I don't know how much you know, but there was a prostitute that was brought to Jesus. So when Jesus said to him, well, whichever one of you without a sin cast the first stone, it was using emotions to help them to have an expanded vision, or to have a deeper vision of the of what of what was in front of them. Logically, this is what you do, but when when you add a little bit of emotion into it, that's why, now you can have compassion. Hey man, why would I judge somebody else where, I mean, shit, none of us is perfect. You see, that's having a deeper understanding of who you are and also your environment. But if you want to be logical, you most likely you'll be like, you know what I'm saying, like that's what they did, that's not what I do. And I'm not saying in no shape and form to take responsibility for what somebody else's does. But what we're saying here is a whole approach and understanding and deeper understanding of what's taking place. Meaning, I can see, I understand, hey, you got to go through what you need to go through. That's all of us. Do you see what I'm saying? So therefore, because you know yourself, and that's why I always tell people when we talk about self-love, it's not being selfish. Having that self-love, and we are all connected through our divinity, meaning through the things that we don't see, through those ethical things. You know, when Jesus used to speak, right, and people would come, it was the word of God that brought those people together. Another way of saying that, it was the thing that we all can relate to. That benevolence, that divinity in us, that's what brings us together. This is why when you know someone is, let's just say, like a puff daddy, for lack of better terms, you know, you would not want to associate with that. You know, because there's a lack of value, there's a lack of anyway, you kind of get the point. So I'm saying all of that to say, for you to have the highest state of clarity, you need to become both mentally and emotionally balanced. So clearly now that you understand why you need to have both of these things, now let's talk about what it's like, or what do I mean by being emotionally balanced and mentally balanced, right? So to be emotionally balanced, let me say this loud and clear. It has absolutely nothing to do with being poised, not raising your voice. Has nothing to do with that. I mean, those are debate techniques that motherfuckers use to get you to sway, like, to look at them like they're better than the other one. Because now it's no longer the conversation in itself, and that's what you see in fucking debates. It's no longer the conversation in itself, but it's now it's the con, the fucking deception. How can I make my idea, you know, outstand yours? How can I be better? Do I trick you to let people know that I know better than you? That's technically what the fucking debate is. You know, and all those shit has nothing to do with being emotionally fucking balanced. Because to be emotionally balanced, sometimes you may have to cry. You may have to let a motherfucker know. You may have to, whatever the fuck it takes. It's you understanding, or having an understanding of your own emotional patterns. It's to understand how you feel and why you feel the way you feel. That plays a big part. So now once you figure that shit out and you understand that, now you have the ability, let's just say when shit is not going right, now you can transmute that. Because you already understand how you feel, you understand why you feel in this way, then you have the ability to transmute. And that's what the whole alchemist, the whole transmuting your energy comes in. But it comes in with you being emotionally balanced, meaning having the understanding of being emotionally, like, intelligent. That's what the fuck that shit is. So at times, as you being emotionally intelligent, now, I mean, it's at your discretion. I'm not being triggered if I was to answer someone and let somebody know how the fuck I really feel. You know, I may choose to do it for the sake of doing it. You know, as part of me expressing my beings. You know, not being frustrated, or not because you triggered me, or not because I give a fuck. For the most part, shit, I let niggas know because I don't give a fuck. Or I do give a fuck, but not about the bullshit. I mean, shit. I mean, you have to come better than that. But anyway, essentially, that's what we're talking about when we say being emotionally balanced, and and that's pretty much the same baseline understanding for being mentally balanced too, because you have to understand, you know, how your mind works. A lot of you guys, you don't know how to think. You know what to think. And you think that way because school's already giving you a way of thinking. School is shaping you. If you were born in a culture where there's a way that people do things over here, there's a certain perspective on how people see things over here. So therefore you're being shaped to see life or reality for what that is, or for what the culture is. So that's why for you to be mentally balanced, you have to identify all that shit. I know it sounds funny. I mean, not funny, I meant to say it sounds simple, but there's nothing simple about it. It's very complex. It's very, like, there's layers to it too. There's a bunch of layers to that. You know, when you understand a culture, for instance, why a certain culture do what they do and how they do it. You know, for you to have freedom of mind, meaning for you to think for you. And only when you have freedom of mind can you honestly talk about exercising your God-given rights, your true freedom of speech. You know, because now you're not just talking because, but you're truly speaking from you. And when you speak that way, you speak with authority, and people will know the difference anyway. But anyway, making a long story short, because I'm not going to spend too much time on that, because I want to delve into, the conversation itself. Because I started talking about it yesterday, and oh boy, that's all I had to say. But anyway, now that's pretty much what I do. Um, Not necessarily what I do, but that's what I mean by, when we're talking about being mentally balanced. Now that you understand what those two things are, let's talk about, let's just say, spirituality now for a second. Now, and before I even get there, now if you're coming back, welcome back. It's definitely a great pleasure to have you. You already know what we do here, man. We break bread. When, hey, listen, man, I do this for you. And of course, not the fake ones. No, even the fake ones too. I mean, because at this point, it's just gonna fuck you up even more. I don't even know why you even watching me, but hey, I mean, what can I say? But anyway, yeah, man, we're breaking bread. So the reason why I always talk about spirituality, because I always feel like if you somehow understand this or understand that alone, it should give you a broader perspective and start looking at life from a different angle, but not just life, but even yourself. Because when we're talking about spirituality, what we're truly talking about here is your essence. It's who you are as a spirit. When we talk about a human being, the way you operate, the complexity in who we are and how we do things, it's just unbelievable. Then you got to look around and see how every culture talks about God, regardless of what their God definition is. There's a part of us that is inspired of something greater than us. And this is not to judge, but yet again, it's to give you a bigger picture. It's almost like, regardless of what walks of life that you come from or that you're walking in, God is everywhere. You could call it fake God, you could call it it's not your God or it's not as real as your God, but the bottom line is this: in every culture, in some shape or form, we are all craving for something greater than us. And that something greater than us, when you analyze that a little bit deeper, then you realize it's a part of us. Because, like I always tell people, regardless of how little you think you are or how big God is, guess what? This big old God need the little old you. Because if that's not the case, if you're a Christian, why in the hell would he sacrifice his only son for you, who's nothing? See, those are all figures of speech to let you know that there is a direct relationship with you and God. Think about it this way. And here's something else that we also say too. In the same regard of, not everybody is worshiping some sort of a God in any type of culture. But here's something else too. They all act, we all act in according of what our God says or means to us. If you're Christian, the Bible is the ultimate book. You don't want to hear anything that anybody has to say if it's not written in that good book. Guess what? That is the instruction that is listed in that book as well. For you not to go anywhere else, this is the only thing. So you're not doing anything new here. You're just following order, just so you know. Again, it's your essence. Now, someone else who's following a different type of God, and their God, let's just say, instructions, It's not to do that. Like the Buddhist, there's you know they don't have an instruction that tells them that Buddha is it. So therefore they don't act like that. Krishna in voodoo, whatever religion. So when I'm talking about spirituality again, you could dress it how you like depending on your level of understanding, but ultimately that's why spirituality embodies all of that shit. Do you see what I'm saying? That's me no matter and here's something else too that I wanted to say about God too. Like no matter how little you are, it means nothing without you. And so much so you understand, if I'm talking about Buddha and you believe in God, guess what? Buddha means nothing to you. Therefore, Buddha has no power. Buddha doesn't exist. As far as you're concerned, shit. It might even be a false god. Because you already know anything else that's not in alignment with the Bible, as it is said in the Bible, guess what? So again, great followers and every religion does that. But ultimately what I'm trying to tell you here, that your God, you acting like your God, regardless of who you are. So that's why for me, like that's why I tell people, I know how important God is. Because God determined the behavior in my life. In fact, that's why I embrace all type of different gods. Because I know what God is to me. So therefore I have explored different aspects of myself. But anyway, I mean, I like to get a little bit, what's the word here? I got a little bit excited. Excited. So, that's pretty much what the fuck spirituality is. So it's you. And also, too, one of the biggest misconceptions that a lot of people, always have is because, you were trained to look at yourself as being a physical being. And then when you listen to the word spirit, because spirituality is the state of mind of spirit, meaning the condition that you in. That's what spirituality is dealing with. So a lot of you cannot relate to it because you always feel like, oh no, that would be for believers, people who are worshiping gods. So therefore you always feel like there's a disconnection with you because you live in a regular life. It has nothing to do with you. And that's a misconception. And for the most part, that's because you don't know who you are. You don't know how you operate. When you hear things like, as a man thinketh, so he becomes, this is not a philosophy. This is not a way of thinking. That is for everybody. When you see millionaires trying to teach you how to be a millionaire, what they're doing is teaching you how to adopt another state of mind. To catch on the millionaire spirit, for lack of better terms. So I'm saying that to say, as a man thinketh, so this is your reality right here, right now. So when you see people who are being spiritual, it's simply someone who knows who they are. And as you know who you are, then you understand your life consists more than just dick and pussy. Just like you need dick and pussy, guess what, nigga? You need a book. You need to meditate. You need to open up your mind. See, the whole spiritual shit is not to tell you not to have dick and pussy, but it's to let you know there is more to you and life than dick and pussy. And when you know that, then now, somehow the divinity in you, then you act more in accordance to that. Then your behavior becomes, from that foundation. Again, it all comes down to what type of spirit are you somehow going by. And this is why when we talk about Godhead, it's to think like God. It's to have that God mentality. The Holy Spirit, having the Spirit of God, name it however you like. Ultimately, it's just the same bullshit. It's the same thing. It's tomatoes. How do you say it? You talking about the same shit, nigga. Hold up, man. Let me get a little bit of water here, man. Hold up. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's a little bit dry, you feel me? Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Oh, this was needed, my niggas. But anyway, let's get back to the conversation at hand here. And then now, on the other side of spirituality, you have something called the occult. Those sacred texts, even the Bible, why not? The Gnostic text, the Kabbalion, all of these, you know what I'm saying? The Gita, Bhagavad Gita, the Buddhism, whatever the fuck, the Masons, and all these shit, right? So when you're dealing with the occult, again, these are the knowledge. It's called esoteric knowledge, because they don't deal with things on the surface. To give you a quick example, and that is one of the best examples in my opinion, some of the basic shit you would learn about the occult is that you have a subconscious mind. And the reason why they would help you to understand the subconscious mind, they tell you, guess what? You're not aware of it, but it's there. So you're not aware of it, but it being there, that means it's dormant. It's truly active, but dormant because you're not aware of it. But once you're aware of it now, that's what the whole idea of out of the darkness comes the light. The things that you don't see, that you don't understand, and that darkness implying to exactly that. Then when you become aware of the things that you don't see, you make it visible. It's no longer dormant. And that is the whole philosophy and idea about what you call statues. When you see a Papa Legba or whatever the fuck, the skull, it's all of those dormant forces. Now you're making it visible. And anything that you make visible, you can master it. And I'll give you a perfect example. Like, I know for me, right? Okay. As an accountant, I understand the reason why we document everything. Every business need documentation. And what we're doing by those documentations, and this is where the data analyst or analytics comes in, by having those data, those numbers, then we understand what's taking place. If you don't write down your expenses, how would you have control over your expenses? First of all, to have control over your expenses, you would have to know what your expenses are. Now, once you know what they are, can you find a better way to reduce them? Should you work on this project knowing that this is how much you're expecting to spend, and what is the expected revenue at this point, what to ask for, do you see what I'm saying? Just by you bringing this into light, there are so many different things you can adjust it in accordance, but you have to bring it to light. Just like for us, for you to master your life, you have to bring the things that you don't see about you. And this is what we understand as occultists. For instance, you have to manage your anger. You have to understand where emotion stems from. This is why it's important for you to understand your subconscious mind, to understand in the occult we talked about healing your wounded child. But all of these things are focusing on the things that you don't see, and by you focusing out of that darkness comes the light. You bring that shit out. This is why when we're talking about divinity, and especially me when I'm talking about that shit, you have to materialize that. That's all the fuck you pretty much doing, and that's what that type of knowledge is helping you with. That's when then they're gonna tell you about meditation, you know what I'm saying, all of that other shit, opening up your third eye, all of that shit is fucking very important. Because when you understand the way you operate, what truly makes you smart is not because you know how to read and write. People always, if you think learning how to read and write is the only thing that you need, why would you have a teacher in every grade that you go? I had my master's in accounting. I still had a teacher, and I still was working in the workforce. I was doing all that shit, but I still had a teacher. The teacher was not there because I didn't know how to read and write. I'm trying to get you to understand why you need to open up your third eye, because what the teacher is doing, and or every teacher for that matter, whether you come from a high school going to college, is to give you the understanding that is in the book. And then now they give you homework. You have your reading assignments. And then you also have your teachers that would help you to see, understand. Because even when you're reading something, this is why I always tell people, this is not academic. You need to have the proper understanding. This is why the Bible in itself, without the proper understanding, you're not going to get it. This is why you will even hear some pastors tell you, I was reading this passage and the Holy Spirit tells me, or I have the revelation, whatever the fuck it is. That's why it's important for you to open up your third eye. Because when you open up your third eye now, you open up yourself more to those aha moments. And those are the downloads that open up your inner vision. And then now, that's why for me, I know there's been books that I read literally 10 years ago that I'm just now getting. When I say I'm understanding, I'm not exaggerating neither. Because I had to grow for me to understand what this motherfucker was talking about. Meanwhile, the shit was in plain English. I mean, granted, English is not my first language and shit, but I'm pretty good. And I'm not saying that I don't have an accent. It's not about a fucking accent. This is about understanding a language. Do you see what I'm saying? Everybody has a fucking accent, you know what I'm saying? But understanding, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And shit, well, forget about me. Even a fucking American, you may read a book and English is your first fucking language, you still wouldn't get it. If you don't have the level of understanding that is required for you to understand the level in which this author is talking or saying whatever the fuck he or she is saying. That's why you have teachers. And again, this is showing you your nature as well. It takes more than just word. That's why they tell you the letters kills. You need the spirit to activate the letters. And this is what you saw Jesus was doing after reading a certain paragraphs and tell you niggas, this is what's happening. And that's why this is funny to me. The same religion where Jesus was doing all that shit, you're praising Jesus, but yet you're not doing anything that Jesus was doing. These motherfuckers are gossiping. This is, you know what I'm saying, let's be honest. It's some political bullshit. It's some sociable political shit. You want to be seen as a good person? I go to church every Sunday. As if that means something. That's like you saying you go to school. Does that make you fucking smart? It's a smart thing to do. Do you see what I'm saying? But yet again, if you understand that they're shaping your mind to be a certain way. But anyway, I'm not even going to go there. But making a long story short, it's very ironic to me, to see that what the so-called people that you're supposed to follow, there's a disconnection. Huge disconnection. Even when you're looking at the whole story of Jesus, because what that means and what it represents anyone who have attained that level of understanding, how your life most likely will be playing out. Members of religion wouldn't understand you. Jesus, guess what? I don't know if he was smoking, but this nigga was definitely drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of you motherfuckers right now acting like you don't know Puff Daddy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that funny? Whenever you see some shit happens, man, I don't know who that nigga is. You know what I'm saying? So Jesus, on the flip side of it, was the nigga hanging out with all them niggas. I'm not saying this shit just to say it. I mean, that's what your Bible said. The shit that you go by. But because they're training you to think a certain way, when you see these parts in the Bible, you don't even look at them. Oh, mind control is a motherfucker, man. That's a motherfucker. You know, and then that's why it's important for you to understand even the story of the church too. You know, the Catholics, you know, at first, they didn't even train you how to read the Bible. They were the one, the priest is the only one reading the Bible, telling you what's being said in the Bible. You came here to listen to him. And then from there, then now you have your whole Martin Luther King shit. Now this nigga was saying, okay, you got to read the Bible for yourself. And then as a result, do you know what you have? You have separate denominations now. Because now I have my own interpretation based on what I can see and understand. And this is what you're looking at right now. That's the playing field. I mean, that's exactly what it is. But regardless of how different the denomination is, they all are under the one thing. This is the ultimate book. And now they pointing the finger at each other. You don't understand the book correctly, you know, and then vice versa, and you know, because every single one of those denominations, you know what I'm saying, they understand God better than you. But anyway, oh man, theatrics, right? Which none of it, again, it's all basic bullshit. You know, not really truly dealing with the actual transformation, who you are, because that's who Jesus was. When he was talking about those forgiveness, you know, having the proper understanding, seeing, you know, using your inner vision. I mean, these people are not using Jesus for that. You know what I'm saying? They're using it to gossip, more like to follow. Like I was listening to this girl that I was talking to. In fact, this girl that I was talking to, she's like, man, you know what? I was looking for a good church. I'm like, for what? Like, in other words, she's looking for someone good for her to follow. This shit is in you, my nigga. Do you see what I'm saying? It's almost like, you know, you mean to tell me I'm the only one who can transform? You cannot transform yourself? Whereas that's what Jesus very much was telling you. You could do more than I did. The transformation, the objective, is for you to follow the Father, not somebody else. Not for you to look for a good church. I mean, now you got to know the pastor, he's not fucking other people. And those are your criterias. You already mentally fucked. Like this bitch, she been trained to think already, like to look for a follower. Now she just need a good follower. Wow. Let me drink to that. Wow. Whew. But all of that stems from their God. Or maybe I should say the part that they were trained to think, they're trained to see. They are trained to be dependent. Not the type of, not the shit that I was hearing that Jesus, or not hearing in the sense that Jesus was talking, but not the shit that I see or that Jesus was fucking about. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's you know what I'm saying? Then you have people who are doing shit just for, it was a social event. A lot of these things are social events, man. The church is a social event, and I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying, spirituality is becoming a social event. You know what I'm saying? Now they selling you pretty much, how, the whole um, manifestation shit. It's another way of making you feel good, but you lacking at the same time. Making you feel good that you can manifest, you could do whatever you want, and then now you're not manifesting because of X, Y, and Z. You're not manifest. Wait, that's cut company. Nigga, these niggas are giving you cut company. But hey, to each his own. That's what the shit is becoming now. At least that's from my perspective. But anyway, oh, mes amigos, que me dum. Cut company, man. So it is what it is, right? So so dealing with the occult, man, it's the flip side, that it's this type of knowledge, that's dealing with the inner self, and that's what the occult is. It's a knowledge, like, what I'm saying. I know sometimes you get a lot of backslash because of the dark side of things, because you've been trained to look at dark only from an evil perspective. But in the occult, when we talk about dark, it's simply what you don't see. There's nothing evil behind it. But I understand you see, I'm showing you how mind control is a real thing. It's a real thing, man. This shit exists. Believe it or not. Yes. You see it all the time. Well, I see it all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? And even in one of my recording, I was talking about how the Bible is man-made. Like, nigga, you don't need to be a scientist to see that shit is man-made. I don't have to fucking be like, this is the guy I was looking for the name for, Billy Carson, to give you the history, the 3Ds, and the books that they chose. I mean, you could do all of that if you want to be technical, but that's goes to show you how strong the mind control is, and you trying to get people to think for themselves. Okay, cool, got it. But the proof is in the pudding. Those books goes by these niggas' name. This nigga didn't say Jesus story, or it's called Matthew. Then you have John. Then you have Luke, and there's another motherfucker I can never recall. What is it? Matthew, John, whatever the fuck. You get the point. That alone, these niggas is telling you this is my shit, man. And you can also see they all speak on it from different perspectives. So if that's not fucking man-made, you tell me what the fuck that shit is. And I'm not even going as deep as you want to be, but you wouldn't even dare to see it that way because you don't have that freedom of thought. I got it. But if somehow your little mind were to swirl a little bit, because a lot of you, when you under mind control, you have no clue. You don't even see it. You're like, what? Is that part of thinking? Yo, this shit is a real thing. And the crazy shit is, even you would listen to this too and be like, I'm bullshitting. But I got it. I understand. Hey, I understand. Whew. Man, that's a motherfucker. But anyway, so in essence, that's what this spirituality is, right? And then the occult. Now let's delve right into it, man. Let's get right into it. So, social media. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about it, because I feel like there's a bad connotation, but it's not just with social media, because what I'm really talking about here is, as a whole, is distraction. What people label as distraction. And I'm trying to let you know. And of course, there's another aspect of social media too. Unfortunately, a lot of these things are working out for a reason. A lot of us, it's not a coincidence. We're all looking for that microwave shit. Shout out to this nigga Loaded Lust because he talks about that. I guess what he's trying to say is it's like the short-term satisfaction. You've been trained, you don't know what it's like, to have a passion for something and to grow within that thing. That is a real thing. That is the art of becoming. That's the art of being. Like in spirituality, I had evolved through the love of knowledge. I've seen myself from a young man to becoming the man that I am now. So beautiful, by the way. So good looking. Hey, listen, man, I wouldn't miss a fucking occasion not to big myself up, nigga. And especially not to, I'm always going to mention about my beauty. Because certain things, even to talk about this, even this type of conversation in itself is quality, man. This is beauty. Some people don't even look at life like, it's like, do you think that you're even living? To just look at life from a perspective of dick and pussy alone? And that's the type of shit that I think, was it Socrates or Aristotle who said that shit? A life, an unexamined life, is not even worth living. That means you have no value. You're just going with the flow. But also, that also goes to show you, within the life, there's another life that needs to be extract. And that's part of your growth. That's your development. That's the experience. And that's you becoming the shiny, the bright ones. And this is what a lot of our ancestors, the ascended masters, left for us now to, develop yourself. And including myself, I have done the work, and now I'm turning around doing what they did. And also salute them at the same time. And, they're also guiding me too, for me to do this work too. Then again, this is all practical shit. To have God in your life, technically, it's to be of quality. This is how we build foundations with one another, with respect, with that divinity in us. That's how you build a community. People respect each other. People play with each other. People loving on each other. Then now when you have people that start robbing you now, killing you now, there's a lack of God. A lack of divinity in them that they're not in touch with. And some of them don't even have that type of life in them. And that's why when they hear me talking, or when they hear the word goes in them, but there's no source. There's nothing for the word to attach to into them, because they have no life in them. Again, isn't that what your fucking Bible is talking about? This is the book you claim that you stand by, but yet again, you have no understanding about it. But anyway, now the thing about social media that I also wanted to talk about, the very first thing you got to look at, it's not just social media. Social media, but I'm talking about, the news, whatever, like wherever there's a television, you could look, people are talking, it has an influence on you. Especially if your foundation is not solid. And this is also what I realized, we are living in the wilderness because it's wild out here, man. Like, although we may be a community, but we are all separate. And again, we can only connect through our God, through our divinity. Keep that in mind. So that's why you need to have the experience. Like social media for me doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people who want to talk about, but if it wasn't for social media, this is going to be on social media. There's a guy, The Diary of a CEO. I really love his shit. Uh, N- Nigerian nigga from London, whatever, British nigga, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Great content, man. Excellent dude. Excellent work. I love it. Love it. Fresh, I mean, French kiss or chef kiss, whatever the fuck. Love it, love it, love it, love it. A man of quality. Bringing information. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Things that are instructive that can help you to be a better person. And some of the things that he does that I really like, he's almost like, I kind of see, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna put his shit out like that because I love his work, but because I study the game tapes. But anyway, great conversation, and what he does too, which is very good. And I'm gonna just say this, it's almost like the people that he invites are people who has a different type of knowledge. And for me, I've always encouraged or wanted to have a platform like my platform is always going to be that anyway, because the conversation that I'm talking about here is not average shit. So therefore, there's always going to be something substantial, something that's going to stand out too, because it's not the average or regular shit or the dumb fucking information that is being given to you in school. That's why school is not about education. You have to understand that too. The whole system, the bells that rings. If you know anything about what is it? What's that nigga? The Pavlov. I can't recall, but he was this psychology, whatever the fuck, that was doing this experience with a dog. It was bell that this nigga was saying. You know what I'm saying? When you hear the bell, you got to need to go to the next class. They synchronizing your ass. You getting instruction. You heard? It's not how to think. They're telling you what to think. The foundation is already laid for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, they guiding you to your demise. But anyway, why the fuck was I talking about that? Now going back to social media. Now, oh yeah. So I was talking about him. So social media, it's not a problem. Even for me, I mean, I need a little bit of that dosage myself. Now, the difference I realize between me and other people is that you may be indulging into shit that doesn't benefit you. Like there's a couple of dumb niggas that I listen to. I listen just so I understand what they're saying, but also for me to have a better understanding about my shit too. So I listen. Oh, so that's what you're doing. So that's why when I tell you about even those so-called relationship gurus, I'm like, how you helping? But I had to listen to what they got to say. Do you see what I'm saying? So for me, that shit's helping me like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like these niggas, they teaching you how to hurt other people the way you were hurt. That's pretty much what the fuck that they're doing. Not for you to be more open, not for you to become more vulnerable, because you need to become more vulnerable so you build your inner strength. Like people, like it's the opposite. You need to be vulnerable, that's how you build your inner strength. The more vulnerable you are, yes, people may take advantage of it, but you also getting stronger. This is you living your own truth. You cannot become truthfully you if you're not living your own truth, or when you try, you stop. So that's why you need to be vulnerable, and that vulnerability is gonna make you feel something. Don't worry about it. Keep working on it. Keep being that. That's how you build yourself. That's how you building muscle, nigga. Don't make me mad, okay? You know what I'm saying? That's not what they teaching you. Is that, so you used to call him all the time, he didn't call you, then guess what now? When you find somebody else, make sure you don't call them. See if they call you when they call you, before you answer the phone. You don't want to show them that you're desperate. That's the shit that they teaching you. You becoming just like the assholes that did you wrong. Congratulations. But I'm saying all of that to say, I had to listen to these motherfuckers. I'm like, oh, that's what they doing. And then now you have other motherfuckers now who's telling you about hoes. And then they telling this is how women are. It's like it's only one side of the story. And to have a full picture of anything, you can't just look at it from one side. How are you going to tell me about women and then all you talk about is hoes, bro? I mean, if you're going to talk to me about women, tell me about good women too, then bad women. So now you're giving me an overall understanding. And now I know you'll even understand what the fuck you're saying. But it's all you talk about is hoes, and then you telling me you helping guys. Okay, I mean, not to be with hoes. Okay, congratulations. Then what the fuck are you going to be? If your whole thing is not to be with a hoe, then you're never going to be with a good bitch, bro. It's either you want to be with a good bitch. If you want to be with a good bitch, then you're going to find a good bitch. But if you don't want to be with a hoe, that is not going to lead you to a good bitch. I could tell you that right now. So again, I'm saying all of that to say, a lot of you motherfuckers, because you don't have better discernment, or maybe because you have not been fully developed, but the bottom line is this. Just as you have these motherfuckers on social media, well, guess what, nigga? You have a nigga like me. Then you have other niggas like me too who are talking some real shit. Do you see what I'm saying? So social media, and I'm saying that because, and I wanted to talk about that. My spirit kind of led me to talk about it too, because I realized, you know what I'm saying, there was this so-called whatever the fuck, then he was saying about distractions. Distraction is not an issue. Let them do whatever the fuck. Like, and my question to that same person who was talking about social media being a distraction, and this is where I'm telling you, these niggas, they have knowledge but no wisdom. So in the midst of all that shit, you somehow made it to let us know that the social media is a problem. Do you see what I'm saying? That's not what the problem is, man. Like I always tell you guys, man, you don't blame the darkness. You turn on the light. How you doing? All right. You just turn on the light. You mean to tell me if it's getting dark right now, oh my God, what the fuck is getting dark? Nah, nigga, just get up, turn on the light. But not just that. You need how else would you be determined too without fucking distractions? This is where a lot of these niggas, you know, I don't know what they're looking for. This world that we're living in, I want you guys to understand this. And that's what makes this world perfect. The perfection of this world has nothing to do with being flawless or bad shit happens. Has nothing to do with that. The perfection, that's why you need to start, you have to develop your inner vision, just like in nature. Like I always tell these niggas, right? All those natural food you talk about, nature also have natural poison that will kill your ass too. Now that's perfection. You'll see two sides of everything in nature. Animals that are friendly and some animals that will fucking eat you alive. Masculine, feminine, good and evil. That's why we're telling you, and for you to become the Christ or to have a broader perspective, you have to understand good and bad as it's one of the same thing. It's two sides of the same coin. We all need bad things to happen to us for us to develop. You don't know one single person that became who they are without going through some hardship, disappointments. We all need that. It's your best teacher. Worst enemy, but best teacher. See, when you start looking at it from that perspective, good and evil now is doesn't hold the same weight, because now you're looking at it from a higher perspective. Social media, whatever the fuck they doing, let them do it. First of all, you don't even have a say. But by me saying letting them, actually claim your power. Respect yourself, man. How do you respect yourself if you're always playing victim? It's one thing I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna teach you guys how to be fucking victim. I'm sorry, man. You are in the wrong place here. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing about it? Do you see what I'm saying? I watch social media too. You know what I'm saying? I do my little DD shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? I don't fully indulge in it because it's not enough for me. Do you see what I'm saying? Because when you only go by the fucking social media and all the bullshit, it's like I was saying in my last recording, that's like you having a dessert. That's like you having your diet, and your diet is only dessert, man. So you mean to tell me you have no protein in your diet? You have no rice and beans, no vegetables? It's all just dessert? You have dessert for breakfast, you have dessert for lunch, you have dessert for fucking dinner? That's what your diet is? That's what you do when you indulge in the bullshit. Like, I get my dessert. I do my little, what do you think? My little gossip. I mean, not really gossiping and shit, but you know, you're like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, even, you know, when I was watching the Cassie shit, I'm like, what the fuck? Can you imagine? Like, that's why for me, while everybody was looking at it from one perspective, I was looking at it from a different perspective. I'm like, what about the nigga who married that bitch? Now, this is your wife, you expecting kids, and then you go into the court and you're saying how you seeing and hearing how she was indulging in sucking niggas' dick, doing all that shit, and that's gonna be your baby mother. This nigga's the biggest loser in that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey man, you supporting your hoe, man, I guess. You know, and I'm not saying this to be judgmental neither. I'm just saying, hey, I mean that was my little gossiping shit, alright? God damn, my nigga. Alright, hey, at least hey, what are you gonna say? I mean, hey, I mean, because she did, didn't she sue Puff Daddy for 200 million, or was it 20 million? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? At least he's getting, hey, he's living comfortable, right? You know what I'm saying? I wonder how this nigga feel like, man. Like, shit. When you think she's giving you the best head, like, did you suck that nigga dick the same? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me stop. I'm wilding. But, again, I'm saying all of that to say, here we are. Like, shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother me. You know, man. Now, do I know all the details? How involved was I? I couldn't wait. Okay, today's day 3 of the fucking DD trial. What's gonna happen? Like, nigga, please. You know, nigga, please. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying all of that to say, again, when you know you, it's just like turning on the light. There's no darkness, man. So that's why I'm saying all that to say, and it's not what I'm sharing with you here. It doesn't apply to just social media. It's anybody who's telling you they're looking, there's distraction. They're doing this to you. They're doing that to you. It takes two for everything. Nothing is interesting if you're not interested. Do you see what I'm saying? If you're not interested, nothing. It's not is fucking interesting. That's just the way it goes. But anyway, social media is not your enemy, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? The same way there's a bunch of bullshit on social media, guess what too? What are your choices? You could listen to a channel like myself. There's a lot of other brothers who's doing the great work too. Nobody that I can really think of right now. Okay, in fact, there's this. Damn man, I used to love this. I love this nigga work too. This fucking he's very proper brother too. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of these niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? But if we want to go old school for a little bit, because I can't really think of any new names now. But like a guy like Sifri Manel, the Bobby Hemmets, it's all fucking social media. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, it really comes down to how you use things or how you look at it. And just so you guys know too, I mean shit, it's okay to have dessert every now and then. There's nothing wrong, but the thing is when you indulge in one aspect of it, that's when you become toxic. If you only watching shows, you know what I'm saying? I mean, who's the father? I mean, you are the father. And then from there you go to Jerry Springer, there's nothing else in between. Wow. Like I said, that's like having your diet, and you tell me I only eat dessert. There's no protein, my nigga. Do you see what I'm saying? But anyway, I guess the bottom line of what I wanted to share with you guys here. Oh, just now made it an hour. I was gonna say, man, it's under an hour. But anyway, the bottom line is this, man. You are the way. Only you can stop yourself. And if your focus is not strong enough, then you said it yourself. If that's what you have to do, that's what you need to do. And this is why you need to follow the things that you're passionate about, the things that is about you. You know what I'm saying? Because, you'll be encouraged to be more of you by you doing you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. There's no distraction, and I certainly understand the impact that they may have on you. But a lot of that, or even if you're following the crowd, it's not because the crowd is the fucking issue, but that is because you don't have a solid foundation. But also not to blame social media, the government, whatever the fuck. There's a responsibility that you have in the mix of all of that shit. Because at the end of the day, nothing is interesting if you're not interested. And if somehow you don't have any type of urge to, some of us don't have a clue too. If you don't have zero clue, well, you probably under mind control. And when you are under mind control, it's hard for you to know because, you would need, because you would have to acknowledge self to understand that you're thinking this way because of that part. But if you don't, that's why everything starts with you. But anyway, I'm going to leave you guys here, man. Always remember, for you to do, you have to be. What you do for money, you do it badly. And always remember, the remedy of the pain is in the pain. Aisyen. Mali.